Robert Redford, a giant of Hollywood and independent cinema, has died at the age of 89. The blond-haired Californian shot to fame in the 1970s before dedicating more of his time to directing and producing. He also founded the Sundance Institute and Film Festival, which brought independent cinema into the mainstream. Let's talk about what's happened right after this. Robert Redford, the Hollywood acting legend of the 1970s who became an Oscar-winning director, liberal activist, and champion of independent cinema, has died at the age of 89. Redford died at his home in Sundance in the mountains of Utah, the place he loved, surrounded by those he loved. Publicist Cindy Berger said in a statement, "No cause of death was provided." After rising to stardom in the 1960s, Redford was one of the biggest stars of the 1970s with such films as The Candidate, All the President's Men, and The Way We Were, capping that decade with the Best Director Oscar for 1980's Ordinary People, which also won Best Picture in 1980. His roles ranged from Washington Post journalist Bob Woodward to a mountain man in Jeremiah Johnson to a double agent in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and his co-stars included Jane Fonda, Meryl Streep, and Tom Cruise. Fonda, who starred alongside Redford several times during his career, said she could not stop crying. "It hit me hard this morning when I read that Bob was gone," Fonda said in a statement he provided to news outlets. "He meant a lot to me and was a beautiful person in any way. He stood for an America we have to keep fighting for." Barbra Streisand, Redford co-star in The Way We Were, said the actor was one of a kind. "Bob was charismatic, intelligent, intense, always interesting, and one of the finest actors ever," she wrote on Instagram. "The last time I saw him, when he came to lunch, we discussed art and decided to send each other our first drawings." US President Donald Trump called Redford the hottest. "Robert Redford had a series of years where there was nobody better," he told reporters. There was a period of time when he was the hottest." Redford famously called for Mr. Trump to go and said he ran a dictator-like administration. Among his famous roles, Redford is perhaps best known, however, for starring alongside fellow activist Paul Newman in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. The film, in which Redford portrayed a wily outlaw, was a box office smash that would later inspire the name of the Sundance Institute and Sundance Film Festival, both of which were founded by Redford. He founded Sundance as he watched Hollywood grow more cautious and controlling through the 1970s, expressing a desire to recapture the creative spirit of the early part of the decade. Sundance was created to nurture new talent away from the pressures of Hollywood, the Institute providing a training ground and a festival based in Park City, Utah, where Redford had purchased land with the initial hope of opening a ski resort. Instead, Park City became a place of discovery for such previously unknown filmmakers as Quentin Tarantino, Steven Soderbergh, Paul Thomas Anderson, and Darren Aronofsky. "For me, the word to be underscored is independence," Redford told the Associated Press in 2018. "I always believed in that word. That's what led to me eventually wanting to create a category that supported independent artists who weren't given a chance to be heard." The festival would later become a success, elevating independent cinema within Hollywood and causing an annual rush of celebrities to Park City each winter. The Sundance Film Festival would later become so popular that the event is now slated to move to Boulder, Colorado from 2027. Robert Redford was born Charles Robert Redford Jr. on August 18, 1937, in Santa Monica, a California boy whose blonde good looks eased his way over an apprenticeship in television and live theater that eventually led to the big screen. Redford was married twice, most recently to artist Adele Sagaz. He had 4 children, 2 of whom have died: Scott Anthony, who died in infancy in 1959, and James Redford, an activist and filmmaker who died in 2020. Redford made his movie debut in 1962 in a low-budget film called War Hunt, but won first attention in 1967's Barefoot in the Park opposite Jane Fonda. After on-screen success in the 1970s, he later dedicated more time to directing and producing. His biggest filmmaking triumph came with his directing debut on Ordinary People, which beat Martin Scorsese's classic Raging Bull at the Oscars. The film starred Donald Sutherland and Mary Tyler Moore as the repressed parents of a troubled young man, played by Timothy Hutton in his big screen debut. Despite a shift towards off-screen roles, Redford starred in 1985's Best Picture champion Out of Africa, and in 2013 received some of the best reviews of his career as a shipwrecked sailor in All Is Lost, in which he was the film's only performer. In 2017, he reunited with Fonda for the Netflix drama Our Souls at Night, a romance between a widow and a widower. In 2018, he was praised again in what he called his farewell movie, The Old Man and the Gun.